What's up, guys? So I'm about to get my pre-workout meal, which today is just going to be some whey protein, oats with some cinnamon and pink salt. I got to get some berries, so I don't have any to add to this meal. And of course, boom, this is what I've been using. Also, check out this shirt, new design. I just designed this myself. So we got all kinds of different characters. We got Goku, we got Guts, we got Anakin, we got Batman Beyond, we got L from Death Note. So these are just some characters that inspire me, and so I decided, why don't I just create a shirt with all these characters added on there. So chosen ones. We're about to go to the gym. We got the pre here. Again, we got the pre, which I've been using this watermelon flavored Legion pre. You can use my code Kenyon if you want a discount and you want to try it out. But yep, and I actually switched out to the purple shirt. Yeah, this is the purple one, looser fit. I got an XL on this one. If you guys are interested in this, let me know. Yeah, so we about to go to the gym. All right, guys, so this is my pull A session. And for this session, I typically start out with dead stop barbell rows. I've been doing these for some months now since I started this new split, and I've really been enjoying them. They have really good carryover to stiff leg deadlifts, so that's another reason why I'm doing this variation. But yeah, this was my first working set. I did 2 working sets here, which is what I typically do, and I actually went up like, this was like 20 pounds up from last session, but these were a little more explosive than I did last session. I would say I was a little more locked in last session, and this go around I was actually a little more explosive. I had the pre in my system, I had some coffee in my system, and I was wanting to go heavier today. So yeah, you can see here, this is me testing the waters. The first time I've ever attempted 4 plates on the dead stop row. I mean, it's already been a long time since I've done regular barbell rows with 4 plates, like forever. But anyways, yeah, this was me just testing the waters, and these were very ugly. We'll just put it that way. They were very freaking ugly. But yeah, they were definitely hard. But I had it in my head that I was going to attempt 4 plates if things felt pretty good on that first set. So that's what I did. And so the ego definitely got in the way a bit there, I'll say that. But I didn't leave that set with a messed up lower back or anything like that. So that was a plus. So now you see my second movement of this session, which is the single arm lat pull down bench supported. I typically do 3 working sets here. A top set of 6 to 10 and 2 back off sets around that 10 to 12 rep range. I believe this was actually my top set. I actually experimented here by bringing the cable pulley height all the way up to the top. I think, recently I had actually had it a few notches lower, but this time I just experimented by having it all the way to the top. But they felt good, felt overall pretty solid. I've been doing these ever since I started this new split as well. So they're still relatively newer. Now this is my chest supported upper back biased row of this session, which has been this row machine I've been using at this crunch. And I did 2 working sets here, so this is my top set. Typically I'm sitting around that 8 to 10 rep range on the top set, and in the 10 to 12 rep range on the back off. So yeah, these felt really solid here. And as you can see, I'm just trying to get really good contractions, really driving those elbows back. And once I can't complete a good contraction, I pretty much end the set there. Sometimes I'll get a few partials But here's the back offset, and you look at my elbows just driving back, and then look at my scapula retracting and protracting. Look at how I'm just look at, you can just see the back working, and that's something to think about when you're doing your chest supported rows, is making sure that you're actually using your back to move the weight. I will definitely have some looser form on certain movements, as you just saw in the dead stop rows. However, this movement, I would prefer to be a bit more strict. With the freeweight rowing, for me, I see it as not just being like a back movement, but it's almost like a whole posterior chain movement. So sometimes I do like to be a little looser, but on these chest supported rows, I like to be a little more locked in. Here's my lat bias row I did this session, which is something I've been running since I've been at this gym, has been a lat bias cable row. So as you can see, my torso is actually tilted or angled a little more forward, and I'm not getting much torso movement here. And I'm really focusing on keeping my elbows close to my body and driving them down. And I actually had to make my own setup here. This is the first time I actually have done this since I've been at this gym. Has been I added these D handles to this handle right here, and so this is my first time playing around with this, and it felt pretty good. For a while I was actually using just a more neutral grip handle, but the handle was one of those V-bars, so it wasn't quite shoulder width. So I wanted to try out the D handles, and they actually felt pretty solid. So I did 2 working sets there on the cable row there. So 2 working sets there, really biasing the lats. And then here's my upper back pull down I typically do on this session, which is just a overhand grip lat pull down. And I've been doing 2 working sets, and so here's the top set I did, and I actually ended up backing off the weight from last session. Last session had actually gone a little too heavy, so I knew I needed to go a little lighter this session, so I did go lighter than I did last session on that top set. And here's the back offset, and you can see on the back offset, a little bit more control there, but just really bringing that bar all the way down to my chest. And I do like to get a little bit of movement on these. I like to be really explosive as I'm driving my elbows down, and I like to get that stretch at the top and kind of bring my torso a little more forward as I come up, and then I like to rock back a little bit as I come down. And for me, I just connect with my back really well, and so this is what feels really good for me, and so that's why I do them this way. But yeah, that was my back offset there, and so yeah, that's my upper back focused pull down of this session. And you can see I did the single arm pull down earlier, and that was like my lat focused pull down. And so you can see on this session I have I have a lat focused pull down and upper back focused pull down, and then I have a upper back focused row and a lat focused row. And then of course I have the dead stop rows. But here's my first bicep movement of this session. I do 2 bicep movements on this session, and this is what I've been doing recently. Has been these single arm curls. I did 3 working sets here. This was the top set, I believe, of 8 to 10. And then I've been doing 2 back off sets in 12 to 15 rep range. And this machine feels really good. And doing these single arm has been a game changer, I think, for me. I just need to keep these in once I actually start gaining again. But I think I've really been missing out for the longest on doing single arm bicep work. I don't have the greatest biceps or the greatest connection with my biceps. And I think for those muscle groups that you may be a little bit more, that you may see or you may have less of a connection with, I think doing single arm movements is a real smart thing to do. So I think I've been neglecting doing these for a long time. And as you can see here, now we have a cable curl, single arm. And this, for this one, I'm, standing in front of the cable pulley. And this is challenging more of the length and range of the biceps. And so that's essentially why I'm doing this one second. And then the other bicep movement would challenge the shorten range a little more too, compared to this one. But I did 2 working sets on this cable curl. One essentially, I guess you could call it a top set, like of 8 to 10, and then one set of 12 to 15. And so, yeah, these are the 2 bicep movements I've been typically running on this Pool A session. And yeah, both are feeling really good, and I definitely plan to keep single arm bicep movements in even when I get in the off season. And actually, here we go. We have a single arm rear delt movement. So rear delt fly, rear delt fly. I was about to say reverse pec deck, but I usually would actually do the reverse pec deck. But in recent times, since I've been at this gym, a lot of times when I want to get on that pec deck, somebody's on it. Unfortunately, they only have one pec deck here, so a lot of times I've had to opt for just doing these, and so I decided today just to run with them. So they actually feel really good, to be honest, and I really think I've been sleeping on these for the longest. So yeah, this is my rear delt movement of the day, and I did 2 working sets in that 12 to 15 rep range. And that was that. So that was the whole workout. It was a good session. I'm happy with how things went. Honestly, I basically was able to progress on everything for this session, which was a good thing. So, yes, sir. What's up, guys? So, I got one more meal to get in tonight. It's about to be 9 o'clock. And that's going to be that. I'm going to edit this video and get this uploaded, but I wanted to take you guys through my Pool A session, and it was a good session, so that was that. So it was a good day, and yeah, this is, again, that custom shirt. The lighting actually really shows it off. Look at that. That's actually pretty hard. That's hard, man. That's hard. So that's it, guys. Let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe, and that's the reset.